Fear not. Last time I checked, you were so close to the top, they were taking your toga measurements. And number 4, when it comes to manifesting miracles, you can most foul things up by trying to override the system. In other words, if your GPS tells you to go north on Highway 1, don't argue. Playing the Matrix is about knowing what you want in terms of the end result and knowing how to define it. I had so much trouble understanding what it is I really wanted. And at that moment, the light went on, and I realized that I'm creating this material to help people manifest change, yet I've got a bit of a stumbling block myself here with getting clarity on what I really want. And as the book Illusions says, by Richard Bach, I highly recommend it, we teach best sometimes. We teach best what we most need to learn. So today's your lucky day. You can see that this matrix, from left to right, includes the entire spectrum of everything, of life as we know it, in time and space. On the left side, we have emotion-based end results. These are ethereal. These are all about your thoughts. You can see in the one column it says happiness, and in the second column there's things like gratitude, spirituality, confidence, creativity. All of these are dependent entirely upon your state of mind. Whereas, one more column over, if you see the third column, the top heading no longer says end results, but we're now in the illusions. The illusions are anything that can be defined by time, space, or matter. These are the fantastic 5. Notice that in this column, our end results are now dependent on the illusions. Whereas the first 2 columns were dependent only on our thoughts. Now we are dependent on the illusions. Abundance is the first of the fantastic 5. That's obviously how much wealth you have in your life. Number 2 is livelihood. That means career, or what you do for a living. Number 3 is health. That's your body, your physical body. Number 4 is relationships. I guess you could say that's someone else's physical body. And number 5, appearance. That's being happy with your physical appearance. In the U.S. especially, people are wanting to lose weight. So this is how I'm addressing that. Still, you see, in column 3, every one of those fantastic 5 is a dream that is dependent on the illusions, on time, space, matter. Now let's move further across the spectrum, deeper into the density of reality as we know it. And we have physical type 1. These are narrower end results, but yet reasonable. Here we begin limiting options. Examples: material possessions, career, work, wealth levels, friends, family harmony. Okay, now something new is starting to happen. We're not just dependent upon the illusions, but for some of these, we're now hinging our dream on someone else's behavior. We're now hinging our dream on other people as well as the illusions. In the next column, type 2, these are all significantly dependent upon others or aligned beliefs. Now we're stating that we want our end results perhaps to be measured by the performance of a specific investment, specific circumstances, timelines, or dollar amounts. Now we're getting really specific in the illusions. And then the last column finally you can see that these are examples of worst case cursed hows. This is where you say you want someone to behave in a certain way, whether they're in your family or in your employment, or maybe it's somebody you work for. This is wanting a customer or a client to buy something in a certain way. These dreams in this last column, these end results, are entirely dependent upon other people. So there you have it, the entire spectrum of reality as we now know it. On the left, 100% dependent upon your focus and your chosen perspectives. Has nothing to do with time, space, or other people. But then as we move across the spectrum, we become dependent upon the illusions and then other people to the point of being entirely dependent upon others. This is a palette. This shows where you can choose your end results. None of them are out of bounds. But it's important that we understand the flow of the matrix to understand the likelihood of our success. Earlier in the mechanics of manifestation, where did I say all manifestations begin? Yes, they begin in thought. Thought of the end. That's the beginning point. The end result in mind. That tips us off as to where we begin playing the matrix. We begin in thought, which is the left 2 or 3 columns. This is why I advocate defining your dreams generally. And this will become clear in just a few moments. This is where we say we should begin with the end results, either happiness or inner beauty or going down to abundance, livelihood, relationships, appearance. Because what we also said in the mechanics of manifestation is that the end forces the details. Thought forces the circumstances of your life that will yield the manifestation. When we start with end results that are in these 3 columns, everything to the right of those 3 columns will automatically be forced and positioned exactly right so that we can experience the manifestation of what we put out there to begin with. So if you start in the 3rd column with abundance, and that's your end result, more money, and you move with it consistently, everything to the right of abundance will be taken care of flawlessly for you. That means material possessions, check. Career at work, maybe not. Maybe abundance will come to you through some other means, and it won't be your career. So maybe you're not going to have that in check. Wealth levels, check. Friends, no connection. Family harmony, no connection. Okay, now we'll go to the type 2. Specific investments, maybe. Some may pan out, some may not. Specific projects, all of that column is maybes. These consequences, see the arrow here? Everything to the right becomes a consequence that's taken care of for you. If you start in the leftmost column with happiness, this is where magic starts happening. Because the only way you can be truly happy, if happiness is your ultimate end result, is if everything to the right of happiness, which is everything in the matrix, is taken care of for you. This takes care of abundance. This takes care of creative work. This takes care of friends and family harmony to the degree it's not dependent on someone else. Happiness is the ultimate end result. Not because material things don't matter, but because material things do matter. And the best way to get them in your life is to start playing the matrix in these left columns, happiness being the ideal. But you can still go straight to abundance.
As divine creators living in a dreamlike world at this moment, there is enough for everybody. We can all get that monkey off of our back with regard to finding abundance in our lives. And it does not mean that someone is not spiritual if they gravitate towards material possessions.